Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Charlotte, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you my June 2025 reading wrap-up. So June was probably the worst reading month of 2025. I only read 3 books. I was out of town for 2 of the weeks for June, one for cheer camp and then one for church camp, and then I also had my dance recital in which I spent a lot of time preparing for and performing. So I did not have a ton of reading time in June, which was a little bit disappointing, but everything made up for it. It was an amazing month, just probably not for you guys seeing the books that I read, but I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about the 3 books that I read. This probably will be a shorter video, but I hope you guys still enjoy it. Make sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. All right, let's just go ahead and get started. So the first book that I read in June was Ellie Mint and the Material Matter by Bernie Stevens. This book was really good, actually. I really enjoyed it. This was one I was sent to read and review, but I did end up rating it a 4.25 star. I felt like it was very unique and creative, and I really liked all the thought that was put into this book and all the science that was in this book as well. It was really interesting to learn about, and it made me kind of have a love for science, and again, I just thought this book was really cool. It kind of followed your basic fantasy story outline, but kind of real life, because the characters use elemental bracers to channel the elements that are inside of your body to do different things. It's kind of like a superpower in the sense, and I thought it was, again, super creative, really fun. I enjoyed reading about it. I also liked the lessons and morals in this book. They were really good, and overall I would say this would be a great middle grade read. The only reason I rated it a 4.25 was probably just because at times it felt a little bit slow, maybe a little young for someone my age, and then a little bit drawn out. But overall, again, I would definitely still recommend this book. Make sure to go check it out for yourself, because this was really cool, and I think could be the future of middle grade books. The direction that middle grade books should be heading in should be like this, and I thought it was really cool. Check out my full review on Goodreads. I always say this, but if you want to know any sort of iffy content, I list it all out for every book that I read over on Fable and Goodreads. Fable is my active platform, and Goodreads is just where I post reviews. So yeah, that's all I have for Ellie Mint. Let's just go ahead and talk about the next book. The next book was The Island of Lost Horses by Stacy Gregg. This book was really neat, actually. I did only rate it a 3.5 star because it took me a really long time to get through, but now that I'm thinking about it, I probably would up it to 3.75, maybe 4 stars. It just wasn't one of those life-changing books, or a book that I feel like I'll think about often enough to rate any higher than a 3.75 or 4. But basically in this book, you are following a girl who is spending some time in the summer in the Bahamas because her mom is a marine biologist, and basically she has nothing to do all day but go and explore one of the islands, and then she realizes there's horses on the island, and then she meets this lady that is kind of like a hermit. She lives on the island all by herself and ends up saving our main character Bee and the horse that she's with, and this lady gives Bee a journal that is worked into the story as the POV of a girl in the 1400s, which I thought was really interesting. You kind of get to go between both POVs, read the journal entries, and basically you're trying to solve a little bit of a mystery as well. The only thing that did lower the rating for me was kind of how this book had no plot. I felt like it was just kind of following the story of this girl. There wasn't really a plot to it, and I couldn't figure out the meaning, the message of the book, you know? It was a really quick summer read. If you like horses, 100% would recommend this to you. The horses obviously don't talk. It's all like very realistic, but I do still feel like if you're a horse fan, you would enjoy this, and if you want a quick, clean, middle grade read, I would recommend this one as well. Lastly, we have SunKissed by Casey West, the only YA book talk book that I read this month, and I did actually rate it a 4.25 star, so I didn't have any 5 stars this month, but 2 4.25s are pretty good. This is a pretty popular summer romancy read if you guys know about it. It basically follows this girl that goes to stay at this like summer camp, they call it, but to me it's more just like a vacation spot for families, and it's basically just starts off as like her life, but the plot of the story is she meets this guy in this band, she joins the band, and they enter like a band competition. It does have some great summer vibes, and I did love the atmosphere of the camp, but I feel like I maybe hyped it up too much in my head to where it was going to be like the perfect unforgettable summer read, and there really wasn't anything spectacular about it or anything that would make me want to recommend it based off like the vibe or the feeling I had when reading it. But overall, it was a pretty good book. The only thing that got me was that sometimes the dialogue felt kind of cheesy and young, but then some of the content felt like it should be for an older crowd. So I don't know, it wasn't my favorite book I've read, but I feel like I've talked about too much that I didn't like, but there is a lot of things that I did like. Our characters were They were amazing. I loved them. And I felt like the characters were so diverse and so many different kinds of people that struggle with different things can relate to a character, and I thought it was just super cool. I actually really liked the character development, which is odd to say for this kind of book, but the character development was really, really good. And again, the characters were just so real. Everything they were struggling with, I've struggled with, or I've known someone who struggled with. It was just so cool to read about, and I just felt like the characters really came to life. Again, the character development also got bonus points for me because oftentimes you read about characters struggling through things, but they don't ever overcome it. I do feel like they actually overcame some of the things they were struggling with, and it could honestly be helpful to read about if you were struggling with certain things. So if you want the perfect summer read, go ahead and check this one out, and I have all the content that could bother you listed out over on Goodreads and Fable. Okay, so that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my really short June reading wrap-up in the 3 books that I talked about. Make sure to stay tuned for longer reading wrap-ups and many more videos to come. Again, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!